I believe we're live, everybody. We're back. Yeah, we're back.
Hey.
I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah, we're back.
I think we're technically back.
This is the core group right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
This
Well
is
done.
the OGs of Drink and Draw. Myself, Jeff Johnson, and Derp Dave Johnson.
Yep.
I don't like the order you put us in.
Well, here, we can
I'm
fix
done.
that.
I'm
Right.
super good at it.
Here,
I'm
there you
pissed.
go.
How do you feel now?
There, is that better?
Dave
Oh,
always wants to be first.
yeah.
That's in his contract.
I do think it is alphabetical, so it always makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to pimp something before we start.
Sure.
Hold on.
This came out today, or I think this week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right on.
Look, they put a spot varnish on there. I didn't even ask for it.
Now that's the Human Target from DC.
Yeah, this book is freaking gorgeous.
Now that's Greg Smallwood doing the art chores and Tom King writing it, or
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this guy just draws people so well. I mean, he draws people the way I want to draw people.
It is a gorgeous book.
Matter of fact, I'll probably just go through it and just rip it off from here
Smart.
on out.
That's what I've done. That's what I normally do with your drawings.
Let's see that cover one more time. It's sharp, beautiful. It reminds me of the your awesome run on 100 Bullets.
Well, I mean, you know.
I mean, it's all that vein, you know.
I mean, you know, what can you do? So
cry.
I might have to bitch tonight about the state of covers these days.
Oh yeah.
Do it. I mean, Dave, Jeff knows this. We had a whole entire thing scheduled for this episode, a lot of topics to cover. We all went over it, poured over all the different things we wanted to discuss. So
Sure.
That doesn't sound like you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just going to say, I think we have room to, if you want to gripe about some covers, we might be able to fit that in with the protocol that we've established.
I think there's room.
I was talking to Shaken about this and Mark Chiarello the other day, and it just seems like there's this prevalence of what I call pinup covers, where they don't even. I realize that a lot of them are for variants, but there's no design. It's just a character standing right, like that. And
Dave, I drew that one.
Yeah, wait a minute.
No, but you know what I mean. It's at least you did something stylistically that was you were trying something new. But I'm just kind of tired of the here's a hot chick, and you gotta do something with it,
Well, I agree.
Give me something else.
I like comic books that tell a story, and I think Jeff, what was the cover? You guys did your show yesterday for the Avengers. What was the cover like on that? Was it was Only an Android Could Cry? It was that John Buscema, Roy Thomas classic.
I think we lost Jeff.
No, I just went. I went to go get this.
Ooh.
So
yeah, but that's part of a huge matrix.
Yeah, I mean that I can, that's it's 9 different covers. I mean,
it is. It's 9 different covers, but I mean they're very straightforward, almost 1990s.
But they're supposed to be trading cards from the 90s.
Yeah.
So that's what a trading card would look like.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
Yeah.
But it just. I don't know the prevalence of crotch up.
Let's focus in on Jeff for a second here. Look at that.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like I hear what you're saying.
Come in, Jeff?
Say what?
No, is this one issue and they all there's 8 variants or 9 variants?
It's 9 different issuis, and they all fit together, in this gigantic thing. But
did you plan that? It looks like you planned it.
Did I play? Yeah, I put a little planning into it. Yeah, but no, I do. I actually think it's funny because when they asked me to do that, I kind of felt what Dave was talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, really? That's what you want me to do? Just the people came out. Just the people on the cover. Okay.
But once again, Jeff, I mean, you had to do 9 covers that all link together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And each
And
one
they're
had
supposed to be like trading cards.
each one had to focus on a separate character. I mean, I'm going to cut you a way ton of slack on that one, but when I see the same cover over and over and over again, and it's just a waist up, somebody looking
Who's
at
the
the
colorist?
camera.
Oh man, she's gonna be mad.
Remember?
I cannot remember her name. She was great. I have it written down. I just was not thinking about it. I will find out and then let you guys know because Rachel Rosenberg.
Rachel, you guys are a good team. That's
She was
nice.
fantastic. She
Yeah.
did great. She did great work, and also these were all pushing the wire. So she did stuff really fast too.
Once again, I'm not busting on
Oh,
that.
Dave, I know. I'm just just kidding around, man.
I'm not even busting on those covers. I'm just tired of seeing them. They bore me, you know?
Yeah. One of the things that so I just did an episode on Thor, the Beta Ray Bill issue. And one of the things I thought was super, super cool about it is like it was white. The first couple covers were white. And so they really stood out. And I think it's so difficult to, I mean, that car driving on the roulette table that you drew was amazing.
Oh,
Was it roulette table? Yeah. I just thought like that angle was great. That shot was totally different. But I think it's really hard because I don't do covers that often. They're really hard to make unique, right? It's really hard to get something to stand out on the stands.
You got going there, Dave.
Well, I probably shouldn't be showing it, but what the hell? It's just
it looks a little Steranko inspired.
A little what?
Steranko inspired.
Is that just because of the pattern?
Yeah, I mean everyone's going to say that every time.
Yeah. And the hat.
Also, why should I give you credit for it?
I wouldn't call it a pet peeve, but it's like, and as much as I love Jim Steranko's work, he didn't invent the
optical illusions.
Yeah, the optical.
Yeah.
He didn't invent the 60s.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Bring that up with him. He might beg to differ.
He might tell you that he didn't invent the 60s. Yeah.
All right. That looks like something Nick Barucci might be interested in.
Well, it is for his book. So.
Your Human Target was great. Did you? And the book looks amazing. Did you guys ever watch the show?
No.
It was a good show.
I refuse to.
On just because you don't like targets?
No, just ignorance.
Yeah, I never watched the. When did that came out? What, in the 90s?
Guys, it's Chase Connolly's here.
Oh shit!
Yay!
Welcome, Chase.
Chase is an amazing artist.
How come? Hey Dan, how come you never invite him on?
Chase and I have a long-standing argument. Like we don't get along. I respect his work, but don't put us in the same room together.
I still want to take Chase's storyboarding class.
Oh yeah, does he have a storyboarding class right now?
That's
gonna be amazing.
If it's, oh yeah.
Let's see. Everyone's saying hi, Chase.
Everyone's saying hi. That's very nice, everybody.
Chase is a very nice dude. He gets along with everybody. Let's see what he says here. Oh, he appreciates it. See?
There you go.
There's the evidence right there. Yeah, we should have Chase on. I bet Dave has some good stories with him working at Titmouse and all the animation stuff. You too, Jeff. I mean, all the animation work you've done.
Done a lot. Not so much lately. I think the last thing I worked on was Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty recent. That's on the air right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very fun show. It's really funny. Like I said, it's really the only cartoon I ever worked on that my wife would watch, even if I hadn't worked on it.
Oh yeah.
Wait, when did you say that, Jeff? You said, like I said.
Like I said, I've said it many times, and she always gets mad.
Oh. She gets angry at Jeff a lot.
Well, I'm not sure I believe you, but I'll just let it slide.
Look at this, Dave. Look what I was going to draw.
What is that?
You forgot the Vespa speeder bikes.
That's money in the bank.
Some little Boba Fett action for Dave Johnson.
Greatest car chase scene ever.
The car chase seemed a little on the slow side. I'm not gonna lie.
Just a tad.
Yeah, the speeders weren't too speedy. Let's put it that way.
Well, they were Vespas.
It's true.
I used to ride a Vespa.
I'm going to use a straight edge. I hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. Don't tell anybody I use this. You guys aren't going to tell anybody, are you?
It'll be our little secret.
Okay, good. Thanks, Chef.
Since we're going to be drawing and tend to be pretty quiet when we're doing that, do we have any questions?
What do you mean?
Well, from our fans.
I might. Let's see. No shame in using a straight edge. That's well, for me there is.
Well, for Dan.
Dan never likes it.
Because I'm a big talker. I'm a big try to be a big shot about it. And then as it turns out, here I am using one.
It's a big. I've never been able to really master using a brush and a straight edge, or even a croquant brush, without bleeding the ink. I can never figure it out.
There's a trick to that. So what people do, Jeff, is they tape pennies or any sort of currency, coin currency, on the back of their straight edge, and it lifts the straight edge up just enough that when you draw on it, it won't bleed underneath. Or what the old school guys did, and this is what I learned how to do, is you wouldn't use a triangle, but you use a regular ruler, and you lift it up slightly, and you take your brush and you guide it, and you that way. So it's a little tougher, but there's a trick. That's what the old school guys did.
I will have to try the pennies under the thing. I've never done that before, and I was never much of an ink guy, but now that I am inking more on my own, I have to master the craft, so to speak.
You have to, Jeff. You must.
Inking's hard.
Inking ain't no joke.
Yeah, I mean, I inked that. If you want to show my stern piece, pop that up. I can do it. This thing took me forever to ink.
Look at that.
Wow.
What do you think about that, Dave?
Good spotting of blacks. You're getting better.
Thanks.
I mean, it has a nice balance to it.
I was going to throw more in, but every time I think about covering something up with black, I always shy away, especially if it took me forever to figure out.
Well, just make you print out a copy of it, and then you play around on photocopies. That way, if you screw it up, it's just a photocopy. You
don't get mad at yourself.
That's how I learned how to ink.
Oh, that's a great idea. Well, this show is already worth it. This is already money in the bank.
Things.
Yeah. There you go.
Then eventually you'll just fake it like I'm doing right now.
just throwing it in there.
Yeah, you just kind of hope it works out.
Jeff, if you could dream up the perfect question for us, what would it be?
The perfect question. Well, I'm always kind of fascinated by how you guys approach cover design. Dave was talking about covers, and as I say, my covers are never as imaginative as I would like them to be. But you guys both seem to have very interesting designs and interesting takes on shapes and compositions. Do you have a system in place, or you've done so many of them that you're just experimenting?
Well, for me, it's I mean, there's certain rules to certain type of covers, and if it's a montage cover, I personally don't like a full figure being cut off at the bottom.
Okay.
I mean, unless well, I mean, there's certain cases where it works, but there's a formula to it in my head that seems to work.
Yeah, definitely.
You can apply it in a myriad of different ways. I mean, once again, if you go back to, this cover, once again, everything important isn't being cut off.
Okay.
And it's, I didn't go to school for it, so I don't have the verbiage of explaining myself. I can just tell you if it's good or bad.
And so that's
you don't have any qualms with that part of it.
Yeah.
What now? So so nothing too important on the bottom because then it gets cut off. Do you like think a full figure in the middle, or just the element in the middle needs to be clear?
Well, it can be a full figure as the big element, just like once again, like the human target,
right?
But I also did the design where his legs are being cut off, not by the bottom of the composition, but by the circles.
Right.
Once again, you're making choices based on what's really important, and legs aren't that important, so I can just get rid of them. Even on this,
people think feet aren't that important.
Well, to certain artists,
right.
But even on this Green Hornet, his body kind of turns into a graphic. It's not, it's just a straight line going down that I can apply other elements over and into. Like his body, I've got the face of the villain, and he's going to be colored dark and kind of recessed. And then you got the Black Beauty kind of jutting out from that. So it's all about elements,
It also sounds like a little bit that you're planning not just the black and white compositional design, but the color composition.
Oh yeah, totally. You have to.
Yeah, that's still something. Color is something I've been playing with more lately, but I'm still very much just in the trying to figure out which colors go together in any kind of coherent way.
I mean, that just kind of comes from trial and error and experience. So
totally. I had the benefit of Bill Ray telling me everything I did was wrong. So
yeah. Well, Bill has amazing color sense, right? He's been doing.
Both Bill Ray just attacked me with the straight edge.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, Bill is color is genius. His paintings have been he's been posting a lot of cool paintings lately. They're fantastic.
Yeah, we should have Bill on, but we have to change these sensors. Never know what that man might say or do.
This is a really interesting. Hang on a second, Herbie. Wait, from Connolly, from Chase.
What, you found something?
Yeah, just from Chase, like specific styles of covers. Do you devolve to, like, I know Dave, you like a lot of the Russian proletarian art for sometimes when you were doing stuff. Do you guys have a cover guy that you like to look at whenever you were looking for inspiration?
Well, I look at everything. So.
Yeah. I mean, my go-to for a long time was just Adam Hughes, to be honest. And that was also how I learned a lot of comic book coloring. I would go, how would Adam Hughes color this? Because sometimes he doesn't have a big color palette. He's very smart about what he chooses. So I would it's all right there.
I still can't believe he still uses a mouse to color.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That's true. I mean, that was the rumor for some time, but that's been what people have been talking about for years now. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I don't know. We asked him that when he was on our show last year, and he said he still used a mouse.
Oh God.
I mean, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
True.
I think it's more about his wife/agent didn't want him to start drawing on the Cintiq because that's a huge part of their income. Selling those originals.
Oh.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, like, don't want to give up the cash cow part of your. I mean, I know I make a good living. I wouldn't say a good living, but a good percentage of my income comes from selling originals.
I know that I do a lot of the storyboard stuff I do is all on Cintiq. But I still have to, when I'm laying out the story, and maybe Chase can chime in here, when you're laying out when you're looking at the script, I find it very hard to think in the Cintiq, like to imagine stuff. I do that on paper. And then redraw stuff.
I haven't converted yet. It's just, I don't know. It just feels alien to me.
Yeah.
What I'll do on the Cintiq is color, honestly. And I'd love to just do it old school, but it's just so much faster just to color on there.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I'm not a great. I have a lot to learn when it comes to like actual watercolors. So.
Well, the mechanics of color are so much, like the chemistry of color is so much different than just knowing the color, right? Like, because if you're doing watercolor, so much other stuff is involved. The paper, even the temperature in the room.
Oh, I know. Adam talked about that. Like, you can't even like pencil if there's too much humidity or something. Like, he hates the way it reacts to the paper, pencil to the paper, and I'm like, man, that is next level giving a shit.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Like, well, you know, my paper,
especially where he lives too.
Well, that is true. I mean, Georgia is a shithole when it comes to.
Well, I remember when I used to do a lot of inking, I had that issue. Like, it would really dramatically affect the paper and the inking.
Yeah. Especially if the paper starts to warp and bend.
Yeah.
When I first moved to California, I had my little studio / apartment was in the attic of a house, and it got super hot in the summer. And not only was I sweating over everything, but like all my paper curled, and then it would just suck up ink in a weird way. It was not great paper.
Yeah, what are you using? Tissue paper for crying out loud?
You know what? I forget. I think it was Dark Horse paper at the time. It was not, or it might have even been some leftover CrossGen paper, which was super thick.
Well, that didn't make any sense then.
Yeah, it just sucked up. It did not like Pasadena in the summer.
A lot of people don't.
I know I didn't.
Yeah.
Is that why you left California?
I left California because, I don't know. I was kind of just mad at it. Getting $80 for a parking ticket was enough. I was done.
You know, there are these things called signs that tell you where you should and shouldn't park.
Oh, yeah.
Dave got a traffic ticket.
Yeah, Dave. Have you never gotten a ticket by misreading one of those confusing ass signs?
Well, I mean, but I usually go, well, that was my fault.
Sure. You know what I've never gotten a ticket for here in Oregon? Parking. Doesn't cost anything here.
Take that, Dave.
Well, they're probably making money on pot, so they don't need to fill their coffers as much.
There is a lot of money being made on pot here.
Yeah, they can afford it.
Yeah, it's we have huge pot fields right next to my house. They're THC, but they still I don't mind the smell, but some people are pretty upset about it.
Do you get a contact high?
Not from the THC fields.
Would you like to?
It would be great.
Speaking of parking, I'm constantly helping out tourists that park on my street. You know, like they just don't read the signs, and I'm like, you know, dude, you're gonna get a ticket parking here.
Yeah. I got a ticket once down by the airport, by the beach, I forget which little beach town there, but I parked. It was an incline, or they said it was an incline, and I did not curb my tires.
Oh, well, you know, that's just, you know, they're teaching you how to park.
Yeah, but it wasn't really an incline. I learned how to drive in San Francisco. And I think they fudged the numbers, Dave.
Oh, well,
It's a classic case of number fudging.
A lot of number fudging, Dave.
Yeah.
It's almost like, Dave, you're working for the yeah.
Dave's working for the man.
Dave's definitely working for the man this episode.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you have a problem with your parking? That's on you, bro.
That's on you, man.
I actually I got in a slight back and forth argument on Reddit. Somebody had posted a video of I don't know if you saw those people that were robbing a train.
No.
You know, of TVs and stuff, and somebody posted the video, and you could hear them laughing about it. And you know, some of the comments were like, "Yeah, stick it to the man," and I'm like, "Yeah, stick it to us when they increase the prices for goods." Yeah, really sticking it to the man. And this guy he just wouldn't get off of it. And I'm like, you know, it's like voting against your own interest, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to take the hit? No, they're going to pass it on to you.
Sometimes I do it just for fun.
What? Oh, anger people?
Well, that's true, Dave. You know that.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, the whole reason I'm drawing Boba Fett is to get a rise out of you.
Is it working?
It worked.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I felt like I was arguing with a QAnon person.
Yeah.
That's
how
kind of my
good, that's
brand.
how good of a job you did, Dan. It was that frustrating.
Well, that's my brand, Dave. That's how I operate.
Should change it instead of QAnon, just like Dumanon.
Chase still lives downtown.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah, that's what he's
I
saying.
bet he doesn't enjoy the parking.
No.
Well, he's probably got his own parking spot, I would imagine.
You know what? We can actually ask him.
I think he's going to side against the man on parking.
I used to live downtown, and luckily I had a parking spot, thank God. But man, it's getting a little rough down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised anybody's living down there now. Between the price of rent and you know, just how shitty things have gotten down there.
It has gotten pretty rough in downtown LA. I was there not too long ago and just driving through, getting just from the airport, even downtown to Laguna. Just there was a ton of stuff that made me uncomfortable on the road.
Did you cry?
I mean, I did not shed a tear, but there was definitely a catch in my throat.
That's nice.
Let's put it this way. Last time I was down there, I think I saw Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I remember Barnett used to come, talk to me, and he'd go, Dan, I got scared the other day. I wish you were around. He'd say stuff like that. So.
Well, isn't Josh a registered lethal weapon? Can he not defend himself?
Should be.
Didn't he have to sign his fist in at the police station?
Yeah. Every time he goes anywhere, he has to sign his fist in.
Yeah.
They go, hey, sign that in. Are you guys excited about the UFC coming up this weekend?
Who's playing?
It is
Who's
Ngannou versus who's
the Bengals, Jeff. The Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals are having a little playoff. That's funny. It's Ngannou versus Cirilli. Is that how you say it?
So who do you think's going to win?
I don't know. That's tough. It depends on, as they say, who shows up.
Yeah.
Are you going to get the fights?
Elena isn't feeling so good, so I'm not going to host the fights.
You gonna watch it though?
Maybe I'll talk to Jesse Falcon. Maybe you'll want to.
Yeah, be nice.
I don't know if you'll be invited, but
No, Jesse hates me. So. A
There's a
lot of people's bad lists.
So we got any other questions? Nope.
I'm almost done here.
Wow, that was fast.
So Dan, what do you think about that Twitter idea I had for variant covers? Letting the cover artists do all the interior commercial artwork? What? Andrew
Wait a
Wyatt.
minute, run that by me again?
Read it. Andrew Wyatt. Just posted it.
Oh, well, I'm kind of busy at the moment, but you don't mind telling me what it was?
It is. Think about the Twitter idea I had of variant covers, letting the cover artist do all the interior commercial artwork. Commercial art? You mean the ads, Andrew, or the actual pages?
It's an interesting concept. Seems like a lot of work for the cover artist.
It does a little bit.
I mean, That's a big commitment. You want to draw this cover? Guess what? Every ad.
How many? When do you guys think that the alternative covers really kicked in? Was it the 90s or was it a little bit later?
In a sense, I guess it has to be the 90s, simply because, that's the multiple issue. When everybody was doing that thing. So
embossed, gold foil, all that stuff.
Yeah, but they do like multiple covers for an issue like that. That's what made like the X-Men sell so much.
Yeah.
Is that you had to collect all of them to get that image. So that was probably the birth of that. Although maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think it was a birth. I think it was the zenith of that.
Well, definitely the zenith. They made a fortune on that.
Yeah,
they really did.
I don't know. I always wonder how long a thing like that will go for. But I think with collectors, they just want more product.
So I have a friend here who he loves comics, and he is an avid collector, and he loves the variant covers.
Yeah, I like them too. I think they're fun.
Well, to me, I always looked at them as choose your own adventure.
Right.
So you didn't like this cover, you could always get this cover. Mm-hmm. But I see, some people, I think they have a compulsion to buy everything for a series, and they feel like they're being taken advantage of, because to complete their collection, they have to buy all the variants. And I'm kind of like, well, you really don't,
Yeah.
When it comes to something like the first appearance of a character, do you think the variant cover matters?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Because this cover is the first cover where Silence appears.
Well, I think it. I would definitely hold on to it just in case, but it really depends on how popular the character becomes.
People seem to love those Carnage characters.
Seem to.
Seem to.
If I were you, I would keep it in your collection just in case, because I'm sure you saw the Mike Zeck auction.
I did.
Holy moly. If I was Mike Zeck, I'd be pissed.
So, Dave, I don't know if you mind sharing the story or not, but you called me today to commiserate because I was pissed off about someone taking one of my drawings and turning it into an NFT.
Oh, yeah.
And you told me that someone stole a ton of your stuff and turned it into NFT?
They took my entire portfolio off of DeviantArt and converted everything into an NFT, including photos of myself.
That's crazy.
I would buy that.
That's the art right there.
I'm now an NFT. So
wow.
This person's a super fan.
Now you're worth money.
No, they're just a super jerk.
Bye, Chase.
Adios, Chase.
Yeah, let's get him on next week.
Yeah.
Just have him right on. That's the beauty of this.
So what are you going to do about it, Jeff? What are you going to do?
They took it off Zach's DeviantArt page. It wasn't on my DeviantArt page. So I think Zach's tracking down or giving them the whatever you can do, tell them to stop.
I think he's giving them the 1-2, isn't he?
Give them the old 1-2.
The old 23 Skidoo?
Yeah. That's a great movie.
What, that was a movie?
You ever saw 23 Skidoo?
No.
It's a great movie. Is The Chicago Kid. Steve McQueen.
That is a great movie.
You know where 23 Skidoo comes from, though, right?
I do not.
Wait till you hear this, Jeff. This is a favorite of Dave's.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I got that email that had all these fun facts, and I forgot half of them, but some of them I retained. No, on 23 Avenue, 23rd Avenue in New York, where the Flatiron Building was, or is.
Yeah.
apparently back in the teens, maybe early 20s, wind would pick up and hit the Flatiron building and come down to 23rd Street, and it would blow women's dresses up a little bit.
Really?
Where you might see an ankle.
Oh, it's naughty.
And guys would hang out on 23rd Street hoping to see an ankle with the wind, and cops eventually would come by and roust them, because they were being a nuisance. And
total nuisance.
If one of the guys saw a cop coming, they would scream 23 skidoo, and everybody would take off.
Huh. That's fascinating.
And that is the rest of the story. I don't know if you guys miss Paul Harvey.
I know who that is.
Yes.
23 skidoo. What other ones are there, Dave? Do you remember any of more?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot, Jeff.
Come on, Jeff. Why are you doing that to Dave?
Sorry.
Jeez.
One of my favorites. I always thought the whole 9 yards was some sort of football term.
Yeah,
but it turns out the whole 9 yards is giving everyone, or not, like just going through all your ammo. Like there was a belt of ammo that was 9 yards long.
This is true.
And I just did a thing with the Navy where I found out that going Winchester is basically throwing everything you've got, like just firing everything until you're empty.
That's usually my plan.
It's usually, it seems to work.
Yeah. All right.
So many of them now. I forgot. Like the carrying a bride over the threshold, as a thing. But the word threshold comes from when before wooden floors, you would have thresh, which is kind of like a hay that you would line your house with. And anytime you'd walk in and out of your house, it would always kind of naturally pull some of the thresh out of your house. So to keep it in, they put up a board, which was usually probably about 8 inches or 12 inches tall. And you would have to step over the threshold.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was kind of like you're bringing your bride over the threshold because it was, kind of hard to do. So
that's a good one.
For some, it might be. Not for me.
What was another one? Raining Cats and Dogs.
Oh yeah, what's that?
That came from when
Pet Cemetery.
When you would build houses on the side of hills, like farmhouses, and you would put sod on your roof.
Okay.
Because it would, kind of a natural insulator.
Sure.
But cats and dogs realized that the heat from the fire inside would radiate up into the roof, and it would be warmer, so they would sleep up on the roof. But if it rained really hard, the roof would get slick, and the joke was...
it was raining cats and dogs?
It would slide off the roof, and that's how much it rained, so...
That's why Dave hates cats. Everybody doesn't know that.
Yeah, well, we could compare how many cats I've owned to how many cats you've owned, Dan.
Quite a bit. I've kind of co-owned a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my record now is 28.
28 cats? Are you serious?
Yeah, I was married to a woman who worked in a vet, and she kept bringing them home. And we lived on a farm, and it was just like ridiculous. So
that makes a little more sense.
Believe me, I was never really happy about it. But happy wife, happy life, and
sure,
bringing them home.
And how'd that work out?
Not too well.
No. Well, it's 50%, right? First marriages.
let me tell you, our house did not smell good.
Not a lot of visitors.
Right.
I think at one point we had 9 litter boxes.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
Oh my God, a lot of stink.
Yeah. My cat used to be. When I had cats when I was younger, they were always inside-outside cats. But now it's just inside cats. So the litter box is something that you have to take care of every
Do they
day.
use their inside voice?
You know what? So the cat I have now actually doesn't meow. She never learned. We got her when she was 3 weeks old, and we had to nurse her with like a little eyedropper. And I don't think she ever learned how to make any noise, so she has never meowed.
I know they've done like research on why cats make certain noises, and some of the noises they make are to train us.
Right, just to talk to us. Like some of the noises they make, they don't make with each other.
Yeah, they don't make them in the wild.
Yeah,
I always found that like crazy interesting.
Yeah, my cat uses a lot of nonverbal communication. She likes to take the eraser off my desk and then put it in the water bowl. I always think that's her version of basically complaining to the manager.
That's usually when they pee on shit.
Right.
I got real tired of that, boy. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, cat pee, that ammonia, that gets into everything.
Yep.
All right, since I'm drawing an animal,
yeah.
What do you guys have a favorite comic book animal?
I like horsies.
I mean, not a character.
Sorry.
I know, if Conan, yeah, exactly. That's the name of a character, right? Gamecock.
Yep, Gamecock.
Yeah, no, I back at Warner Brothers, we would have that weekly draw a strange character from Marvel or DC, and they would pick a character, and we picked Gamecock one time, and I think I liked him so much I drew him 3 times.
Oh, doesn't surprise me.
For one, it was he was on the edge of a building, crowing at the sun rising, going cack.
That's actually the sound they make, so it's not.
Yeah.
What are Gamecock's powers?
I don't remember.
Batman's powers.
The only thing I remember about Gamecock was he was killed by Puma. Apparently, Puma ate him.
Wow.
So
that's tough.
That'll end a hero's life. That's why I love superhero comics.
Razorback was always my favorite one to draw, as a character with an animal name.
How about Wolverine?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
He's okay.
We have a special episode happening tomorrow, Jeff. Perhaps you've heard about this.
I have. I've seen the ads.
It's Barry Windsor-Smith's unpublished issue of X-Men that very few people know about. I didn't even know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of people were always talking like, the Thing graphic novel that he turned into the Monsters thing, book that's amazing from, I think it's Fantagraphics that's doing that.
I believe so. I've read it. It's good.
Yeah. But he that's actually how he started the Weapon X stuff. He just did it.
It's true.
And he was like, here you go, Marvel. This is what I'm up to. They're like, okay, I guess we'll be publishing that. But apparently this issue of X-Men, they didn't feel the same way about.
So you're saying he did a whole issue and then it got rejected by Marvel, and now
I'm still getting information. I have like a source per se, and I don't have it all yet.
Right.
But I'm going to reveal as much as I do have tomorrow on tomorrow's show.
Fantastic.
John Davis. John Davis is a bit of a comic book historian. So
he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, a lot of things.
I mean, I know Barry. Maybe I'll have him come on the show.
That would be amazing. He'd love it, because I've actually managed, like, I've had some sources send me some artwork. that surface that nobody knows about. I don't even know if Barry remembers necessarily.
Well, I mean, if you've read Opus, he probably doesn't.
God, I love that book. I love the meandering in that book.
Do you have both volumes?
Of course. I mean,
yeah.
The best is the hummingbird story, in my opinion.
I love the hummingbird story, but also I just love how much he shares. His stories are great, and how much he shares about his process. Those books are worth every penny.
Yeah, even if there's no artwork, just his musings.
Yeah,
are so good.
But there's so much great artwork in there.
Yeah, he's a treasure.
Agreed.
You agree with me
on Barry Windsor-Smith being a treasure?
Oh, okay.
We have to be specific.
Oh, yeah, I don't wonder. All right. Well, I think I did what I set out to do on this, is to draw Boba Fett for Dave. He's such a huge fan. Series.
It'd be better if he was wearing his helmet like he should be.
Dude, I don't know if you know this, but he's a bit of a crime boss. You aware of that?
A little bit.
I was happy he actually killed somebody in the last episode.
So you have been watching it, you little sneak.
I never said I didn't watch it.
You said a lot of things.
I just said it could be better.
Ted.
All right, let me see. Let me start. Now that let's see. We'll hit Dave's. We'll see what Dave's up to for a little solo action.
Sure.
Not
too bad.
Look sharp. You look how fast that is, and that's actually a lot of people don't realize that that's a real gun that really existed.
I think it's the Alex Ross version of the, which I'm like, oh, I don't know about this gun. I didn't like the original gun. It didn't even have a trigger. I mean, why would you create a gun for TV that doesn't even have a trigger? It made no sense to me.
Was it keyed to his palm or something?
I don't know. I never watched the original show. I just
too sophisticated for that show.
It just, you know what it looked like? It looked like the prop department just kind of jigsawed out some wood and then sanded it down into a smooth shape and then put a barrel on it, and that was it. We're like, done.
Jeff, you're a fan of Kirby. You weren't always a fan of Kirby, but as you've gotten older, you are. I remember you and I worked on something, maybe it was even Supreme.
Yeah. And
there was a Kirby scene, like there's some sequences that had to look like old comics.
No, that was Jacobian.
Oh, Jacobian. Yeah. And you were like, oh, I don't know. I remember you had some, not misgivings, but you weren't like 100% on it. And then you really got into it in the last maybe 10, 15 years.
Well, when I started studying, John Buscema, Gil Kane, and those guys. And so I was much more in that naturalist school of thinking. But then as I got older, I just don't think I understood what Kirby was doing at first. And so it took me a while to look past what I thought was not the coolest finish or anatomy to see the genius underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
a lot of people really appreciate everything he kind of was doing per se.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just looking at some old Fantastic Four stuff, like, and just even some of the comics from, the 60s and the early 70s and whatnot, like those guys put so much work into every issue. Like there's so much story happening. There's a ton of designs that they're just making up on the fly. It's impressive.
What are you doing there, Dave? That doesn't sound good.
That's me doing this.
Oh, okay. All right.
Putting a little whiteout in.
Oh. Okay. That was Dave for a second. I was a little concerned.
No, mine sounds a little bit more wet.
Oh.
Gross.
You're white out?
Yeah, I need lubrication.
Gotcha. A little TMI, Jeff. Sorry to interrupt your story.
I mean, it could have been a shake weight, I guess.
You got to stay in shape.
When Dave was at his most fit, he had a shake weight or whatever, shake weight or whatever.
Sure.
And once, it was great because once you finish your workout, it would spritz you a little bit, to kind of cool you off.
Yeah, no, it's a good system.
Love that. I love that.
And then it wouldn't be ready to go again for another 45 minutes.
It just needed a sandwich. You just had to give it a sandwich.
Yeah, it just had to take a nap.
Interesting.
Seriously, whoever created that is like the genius.
Shake weight? I think most exercise equipment is a joke.
Yeah.
Made up by someone with a sick sense of humor.
You know who my idol is the guy who created the Pet Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Genius.
I
Genius.
mean, come on. Genius.
I mean, the guy who marketed the brine shrimp as
Sea monkeys?
Sea monkeys. That was pretty smart.
He got my money.
You're right.
No, one of the coolest business things I ever heard was who's the guy who did Faxes from Sarajevo? Who wrote it?
Hubert.
Yeah, but the writer, the guy who actually lived it.
I don't know.
Oh my God, his name is blanking on me now. Son of a bitch. Somebody will know it. Anyway, I was in a 3-hour car ride with him on my way to a Brazilian or Argentinian convention. And, God, what was his name? Why I know it. My brain.
You know what? I'll go look at my copy right now. I'll find out.
But he told me a story about these two brothers that came into an inheritance.
Uh-huh.
And this is back in the 90s. And instead of blowing it, they ended up buying or creating a phone card company, with minutes. You remember those?
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
But this is the genius part. Now, they couldn't compete with AT&T or all the other telecom companies, in a way that they couldn't.
Oh, yeah, this is a great story. This is really cool.
What was his name?
His name is Joe Kubert.
Come on.
All right, hold on. Sorry, Dave. I love messing with you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it looks like Joe Kubert's taking all the credit here.
Well, what the hell? The guy actually sent the faxes. What's his name?
Kareem Zayamakov.
What?
It's dedicated to him.
Okay, this is weird.
You're weird.
Oh, there it is. Urban Rustamagi. That was it.
Yeah, all right.
But anyway, they started this company and they realized they couldn't offer phone cards cheaper than AT&T and all the other ones. And if they charged more, then nobody would buy their phone cards.
Right.
But what they realized is when people bought the phone cards, that money would come in, and they peppered Europe with these phone cards. And when the money came in, they couldn't touch the money because they needed that money to then pay the phone companies.
Sure.
But what they realized is it takes a while for that money to be spent or those minutes to be used, and that money could just sit in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, that money would accrue. And
that's actually not how the story goes, Dave.
Okay, tell me how the story goes.
The story goes, everybody uses those phone cards.
Yeah.
And the phone cards have a certain amount of allocated, like X amount of minutes for this amount of money. But a lot of times you'll use the phone card, but there'll be like 2 cents left on the phone card, and you'll just
that's part of the story. The other part is
that's my favorite part, though.
No, but the genius part is that money would sit in the bank and accrue interest, which that they could touch. So that's that combined with people that wouldn't use all the minutes,
that's a good system.
They became super rich out of that. So
yeah. People like
that's that out of the box thinking that it's like, damn, it's like I'm hearing about all the people buying metaverse property.
Oh God, yeah.
But I said the same thing about cryptocurrency, and look where that is now. you know?
Yeah, and NFTs and what have you.
Yeah, so I'm like, is that going to be the next thing that by the time it becomes official, it's already too late? Is it already too late now? I'm already hearing like people spending ridiculous amounts of money on prime metaverse property.
Did you guys ever read Snow Crash by Stevenson?
No.
So a lot of that takes place in a 3D online digital world, and the digital real estate is a real thing in that book. Like, because there's basically Main Street, and if you're not on it, then you don't get people walking by.
Well, it's already happened with Worlds of Warcraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember Jim Lee used to get buy up a whole bunch of cool stuff on Worlds of Warcraft.
Well, yeah, people that would grind, you could then pay them. They would then sell whatever sword you wanted, or, you had real digital property currency.
Yeah.
You had places where you could store all your stuff, it took time to build up. So
it takes time to make time.
I mean, I'm hearing prices, even in the meta universe that you could buy a real house for.
Right.
Like $300,000-$400,000 for a piece of property in the metaverse. I mean, that's crazy.
That. I got a lot of extra. I make so much money in comics. I got a little bit of.
Yeah, you're gonna buy a storefront.
I might. I might do that.
Maybe we should pool our resources and start a drink and draw bar.
We need a drink and draw bar headquarters. Let's take a look at Jeff's craziness here. I dig it.
Little Kirby dots.
Lockjaw had that. What was his power? He could read other people's thoughts.
Well, he's telepathic, but he also teleports.
Oh God, I just made that up. I didn't even know that part.
Oh no, I mean he can.
Around.
He
always looks so sad.
Well, he's a bulldog.
I know, but he looks so sad.
Very few happy bulldogs.
Oh.
Hey, I know we talked about it before the show, but I feel like I have to tell everybody, if you're going to get artwork mounted, make sure they don't.
Oh yeah.
Tape the artwork to the mat.
Why not?
God, such a beautiful
there
piece.
you go.
I can't believe. Just all ripped up.
You're saying that's not whiteout, is what you're saying.
No, that is that rough under paper.
Oh, what a nightmare. Oh.
Makes a part of me very sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be mounted again with, it's going to be cut off, but still, why would you do that? Why not tape it from the back? Like something that doesn't matter.
There's a lot of different choices this person made, and you're saying you made the wrong one.
Oh,
whoever framed it, Howard made a good point back in the old days. This art was, almost throwaway. I mean, they used to just give it away.
Yeah. Is that a Don Heck? What is that?
Who?
Is that a Don Heck we're looking at?
Yeah, Don Heck. No, it's Ron Lesser.
Oh. Had a little bit of a Don Heck sort of.
Was he a compatriot of McGinnis?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I like it. I mean, he's changed his style throughout the years, but this style back in the 60s was kind of like, McGinnis. So
yeah, it's very nice.
I thought it was McGinnis at first, but what do I know?
I mean, I don't know if put the camera back on it again.
I was going to show my artwork, Dave.
Nobody cares.
Okay.
But look, okay, you can't really see how clean and crisp that detail is. It's a little blurry, but
yeah, you need a good camera.
Like that's how big he was painting. I mean,
that's tiny.
Yeah, but Dave, you have enormous fingers.
Are you saying I have sausage fingers? How dare you?
You know who else paints really super small is Doug Chang.
Yeah, and Herbert Paws. Herbert Paws paints very small.
No, he doesn't.
Herbert?
Yeah, I actually own some of his shit.
I've seen some of it at Illustration House, and it was really.
But his style isn't like it's not super detailed. So, I mean, the
calling me a liar.
Are you calling me a liar?
No, you're calling me a liar. We're both calling each other liars here.
Well, who owns Herbert Paws art?
I don't even know who Herbert Paws is.
Herbert Paws is
Here you
amazing.
go.
Here, we're gonna wrap it up, Jeff, but I'm gonna show you some Herbert Paws stuff that'll blow your mind.
Okay.
Once you see it, you'll go, "Oh, that's the dude." Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not associating a name.
Speaking of color, he had a palette that was just so different than anybody else was using back then. Even today, I mean, maybe like Kelsey Shannon, like
very much
crazy colors that you wouldn't think would work, but he made them work.
Cool, very cool.
So you want to see one, Jeff?
I'd love to see a Herbert Paws.
I'm going to show you one. How's that?
Thank you. I
It's
appreciate
just
that.
maybe a Don Heck piece.
Probably.
Oh, no.
You think of that?
Oh, I am familiar with that guy's stuff.
Yeah.
Very
A
cool.
book, matter of fact, actually, I highly recommend this book.
Hold on. I can't, Dave, I'm having a hard time removing this one. There it goes. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Dave.
Yes, I remember that book. Now it's all coming back to me.
Yeah, this book is badass. I've been literally waiting 20 years for this book to be made.
You see that cover again?
Look at those colors, man. Jeez.
Amazing. What's that cover? Let's take a look at that.
Oh, wow, great. Yeah, his palette is really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Very
He was a genius.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here's the this is a piece I own.
that's very phallic.
It is. That's why I bought it.
Is that oils or acrylics, Dave, or what's that medium?
It's gouache.
Okay. Excellent.
I mean, who doesn't want a golden penis illustration?
There's a lot of people, Dave.
Everybody loves them.
I could probably sell that to Trump for a lot of money.
23 Skidoo.
That's probably true. Oh, you know what? We forgot to show before we go.
Your
let's
abs?
Show Dave's
Oh, yeah.
piece.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That is a nice tribute. This is a Steve Hovecki's company called Printed in Blood, and they're coming out with a rights and tribute.
Now, does every book they publish have to be like a certain amount of blood in the ink?
I believe so. This
Yeah.
is mine.
It's definitely in the charter.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you. And then this is
For all those knee fetishes out there.
Yeah. And then here's an amazing Jeff Johnson. We were talking about inking earlier. Look at that. Jeff likes to do a little inky ink.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
What? Say it, Dave. I know you want to.
I just think if you added a little bit of black to the peck, I think it would add volume to it.
It's too late.
Oh, what, the peck behind his head?
No, the peck right by the arm with all the black.
Oh, yeah, too late.
And
Too late.
great Wally Wood tribute.
Yeah. Or for Zeta, depending on who you're.
Well, I mean, it was all that Stern stuff had all those guys, the Al Williamson, Wally Wood, Frazetta, all that kind of like. I love the space technology back then with steam and valves and all that stuff.
A lot of dials happening.
Pipes.
That is an interesting question. Who did it first? Was it Frazetta or Wood?
Probably. I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is a good question.
I mean, Wood loves, or Wood, you know that phrase Wood lived by. Don't draw what you can trace. Don't trace what you can Xerox.
Sure.
I mean, he was known to lift stuff from time to time. Not that he needed to. I mean, it was amazing.
It's a tough
He did,
job.
yeah. But so that particular piece of mine was I looked at a bunch of Bernie Wrights and stuff, and then I looked at a bunch of Frazetta and Wally Wood and Al Williams and stuff to get the vibe.
Yeah. Then what happened?
I got the vibe.
Oh,
You did get the vibe. You did a great job, man.
Yeah.
You really got the vibe there.
I totally got the
So
vibe.
it's a combination. It's a tribute to Wally Wood as well.
Yeah.
you're like, while I'm tributing Wrightson, why not sneak in some Wally Wood?
Well, clearly,
So
Wrightson was looking at those guys, right? Like,
Well, what's Dave up to? Well, anyway, guys, we should wrap it up. I got some chorizo.
Yeah, I mean, we all have chorizo.
Well,
I don't have chorizo.
You should use some chorizo.
I'll send you some.
Thank you.
There you go. There's my little doggy dog.
That piece right there, those 3, I have those, Dave. I own those.
You do? Oh, yeah, good for you.
And that one. And those 3.
Yeah, you didn't. They don't have the ones the other ones I own. But still, this is such a good book.
It really is in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I showed that Ron Lesser is they're making a Ron Lesser book too. So
excellent.
That'll be good. So they wanted a scan of the painting.
Nice.
That's very kind of you, Dave. And you destroyed yours in the meet for the love of art.
I know it was a pretty decent frame. Not a frame, but it was matted. The matting wasn't terrible, but now I gotta do it all over. I'll probably go with a white mat and get it framed now. So,
can I make a suggestion?
What's that?
A black mat.
I don't know. I kind of like how the white looks on it now. So we'll see. I don't know. I got a good framer if you ever need one.
What's his name?
Right next to where Meltdown used to be.
Oh.
They actually have my McGinnis right now. So I'm kind of fingers crossed nothing happens to it.
Right.
Like a fire or like a natural disaster.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about it today. It's like if something does happen to that shop, how would I go about getting my money back? So I don't know, fingers crossed. I'm
gonna cross my fingers right now.
I'm crossed.
Yeah.
They did a great job on that Berkey piece, so that's why I gave him some more stuff.
That thing was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we missed out on Joe Quesada. He couldn't make it. He's indisposed, I think is the word he used again and again and again and again. And then Ben has some personal canine tragedy, but actually it all ended well. But it's been the 3 of us. It's been incredibly nice to chit chat with you 2 gentlemen, both named Johnson.
Yeah, good to see you.
And
we are the best.
Next week, if Chase is into it, we'll get him on board and chit chat some animation.
Fun.
And tonight's episode was brought to you by Speedwolf Nibs.
Yep.
Speedwolf
Nibs. There you
wait
go.
a minute.
It was in the planet.
I'll have to re-upload the Speedwolf.
Oh, dare you, Dan?
That wasn't me.
They're going
It
to
was
discontinue our sponsorship. All that money
was
we're
Lockjaw.
making.
All right, you guys. It's great seeing everybody. Thanks to all the people who tuned in and all the comments. Can't wait to be back for more, and tune in tomorrow as John and I unleash the hidden, unpublished X-Men issue, allegedly by Barry Windsor-Smith.
Allegedly.
Excellent. All right. Have fun, everybody.
All right. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to end the broadcast.